Now then, weirdos, what's happening? Cheers for joining us. Manchester United are on our way to Wembley. But I'm not, and you're not. We'll be watching at home. Bastard. That was really shit, wasn't it? Let's be honest with ourselves. That was turgid, boring, and a little bit terrifying at times. I think 5 things we learned is going to be interesting, I'll say that. So make sure you've subscribed and ring the notification bell to make sure that you get it for tomorrow when we put this out, because there's a lot that we need to discuss. Basically, it wasn't good enough on many levels, and I think I wasn't really happy with the starting 11. I thought it looked narrow. When you're playing Lingard, Mata and Bruno Fernandes, you've not given yourself people who can run. You've not given yourself the outlets. And Norwich was always going to be set up to defend. Norwich honeydicked us a little bit because they seemed like they were going to play a bit of a weakened team. You know, they didn't do that. They went for it big time with their starting 11. They went with their strongest starting 11, and that's fine for them. They can do whatever they want. It's all about getting through to the next round, isn't it? I mean, I don't blame them. It's one of those. I thought the first half was really sluggish, and I think because here's what I think it was. If I'm Fark and I've got a beautiful deep Ron Seal tan like he does, it's very easy to sort of allow this United team to have the space in behind, because when you've got Ighalo and you've got Lingard, Mata and Bruno, there's nowhere for any of these people to go. They're not going to beat you for pace, none of them. So you can step up and deny the space. When you've got Marcus and you've got Greenwood and you've got players like that, and you have to be wary that they might shoot in and get behind you. And if they get behind you, they're getting in on goal. That wasn't an issue for that starting lineup. So I put it at Solskjaer's feet a little bit there. You know, no Dan James, no Rashford, no Tony Marshall, not even a Mason Greenwood. One of them would have given us a decent little outlet to try and get in behind them, and that might have given us a little bit of an extra space. Starting 11 was good enough to go and do it on paper, or we think it was. It clearly wasn't. Clearly there's a lot of passengers in that team that aren't good enough to be Manchester United players anymore. It's weird, isn't it? The time has come that Solskjaer's improved the starting 11 to the point where you go, right, yeah, that's who we are, or that's who we're trying to be. But when you look at those backup players and you see they're not good enough to go to Norwich, who are shit, and get anything more than like just scraping over a draw or a 118th minute winner, you understand why United have been off the pace of late. I thought we were very easy to defend in the first half. As we rolled through the second half, we made changes, and as we made those changes, we started to turn the game in our favour. But it's always easier to start a game in a certain mindset and tempo than it is to try and change the game in your favour and change the tempo, regardless if you've got 6 substitutes, which is mad. It's hard for that to happen. And as soon as they went down to 10 men, you didn't see anything from Norwich where they tried to attack. And as I've always said, it's easier to defend and hold on to what you've got than it is to try and force things, make things happen, and be the one that makes risks and makes chances happen. We didn't get that today. We didn't get anywhere near that free-flow attacking football that we saw against Sheffield United. And we had a lot of chances. We had a lot of shots, not a lot of clear-cut ones. I have to say, Tim Krul pulled out some frankly outrageous saves. Fair fox to him because he was ridiculously good. But, I think it's shown the frailties of Manchester United a little bit today. I think, even though I would have started Marcus because I think he's in poor form and I wanted to play him through that form. But he didn't really do much when he came on again today. This is the first time in his life he's not played football in 6 months. It just feels like his timing's off. That's all it seems to be, and I think you keep playing him through that. and see what the crack is with him there. Paul Pogba looks sensational. I hope there's a new contract in the works for him, but I'm going to need more than just him signing a new contract. I'm going to need him to publicly come and say, shut the fuck up to his brother and his agent. If he can do that, then we're happy days, aren't we? Because he's so strong. Honestly, it's ridiculous seeing him. A lot of people in the comments talking about Luke Shaw. I'm not allowed to talk about him because apparently I'm too biased to have a conversation. You know my views on him, and you know why. I think the only time he went round the outside, we ended up scoring from it. Ross says Pogba was the difference when he came in. Yeah, I would agree with that, to be honest with you. How badly do I want him to sign a contract? I'd like him to sign the contract. I'm not going to beg for him to, because if he doesn't want to be here, then I don't want him to be here. But if he signs a contract, yeah, I'll be pretty happy with it. I'm not too proud to say, oh no, he's a fucking unbelievable footballer, and there's not many of his level in there. Williams not starting is a travesty. I agree. I didn't see anyone saying he's not having it. I don't understand why. Eric says disappointed in Ollie tonight. He got both Fred and McTominay on redundant positions. Got Bruno on the full 20 and didn't put Gomez on. Look, if Gomez isn't signing the contract, he's never going to play him, mate. And also, what has Gomez done to deserve a start at this moment? Over anybody else? Why would he do that? I do think Fred and McTominay in the first half. Now, this is my issue when people gush over McTominay. In a big game, much like what we saw with Lingard for a large percentage of his career, Scott McTominay is a workhorse. Scott McTominay is going to cover ground, and he's going to be physical, and he's going to get in the mix, and he's going to do things, and he's going to keep it simple when he's on the ball. But when you're the dominant team, it's not about Scott McTominay, because he's not progressive enough with the ball. He's not good enough in possession to find the balls to move it forward with a regularity. Him and Fred today just didn't seem to click. In my head, I think against teams like this, it can click. But actually, this is the game that we drop. Brighton on Tuesday, this is the game that United have dropped. We've been good in the top 6 teams. These are the games that we fuck up. These are the games that we don't get it done with. And maybe because we rest this midfield and we're not adventurous enough with our midfield. Aaron says, hey mate, I'm from Australia and I love your channel and the content. Important 2 questions. Depth / squad players would I bring in, and would Grealish be one of those to give Bruno and Pogba race? Yeah, possibly. It's clear that we're obviously in for some sort of a number 10. I don't fully know where that fits in the squad, though. I'm going to be honest. I don't actually know where that fits in. Joel Page says coleslaw. Cleaned it up. Probably going to find something about 6 months, but we cleaned it up. Liam says, Shaw was fine. Of all the starters, he was the least of our problems. I disagree, mate. He doesn't make intelligent runs. You saw the runs Brandon was making. It stretches people. It makes people move. He doesn't do enough off the ball. He's too lazy. You've only got the ball for 3 minutes, lads. That means for 87 minutes, you've got to work off the ball. Whether you're in possession or out of possession, you need to be fucking working. We need Ndidi. Not for games like today, we don't. We need good players who can move the ball and pick a team apart that doesn't want to be. Brandon wasn't good today, Steve. Hope you've taped the game. Please go back and watch it. This starting lineup was the team Pogba played in. Yeah. I thought Delo actually put in a good shift. Mistimed some stuff, but so did Bruno. Yeah, the crossing. I always want a little bit more from the crossing. It just seems to me like Delo's a little bit one-dimensional. Yes, Bruno can be wasteful, but Bruno is our single most creative outlet. Everything good comes from him. And have you seen that stat? Bruno's never lost in a United shirt. That's obviously going to come to an end. But what a fucking stat that is, by the way. Unbelievable stat. Phenomenal, that. Yeah, fantastic. How's the floods going? We are flooded, hence why I'm in here. I'm going to do 5 things I learned later, but fucking rain again, and landlord reckons he's going to get sandbags. How about we just fix the fucking drainage problem? How about that for an idea? Do we replace Shaw with someone first choice or someone to be second choice to Williams? Depends where you want to spend your money. If you can only sign one proper first choice player, I wouldn't have that as a left back. I'd go with a midfielder or certainly a right winger. If you've got the budget to do them first as well as, I wouldn't have a drama with that. We have no pace at centre back and we keep switching play. I don't want Shaw bombing forward all the time. Well, you can have your foot. Depends how you want to play it. You can be in a system where your fullbacks do bomb forward all the time. You absolutely can. But Shaw can't be that guy because he's too lazy to be that guy. The one-touch football isn't for our second team. You're not wrong. I don't agree with you, Steve. Bruno is trial. Don't know what that means. Sol is box-to-box, not a DM. We need an actual DM. Yeah, but Sol can do that job. And our DM needs to be able to play forward passes. It's not just about someone who can tackle. They have to be able to... that's literally the job McTominay can do. So, that's why you want someone like a Sol. And he also gets flung into the rotation with some of the others. Pogba's a 10. Nah, you got to keep Pogba, I think, a little bit further back. Why are Liverpool fans in the comments again? Honestly. You're such a fucking lot of weirdos. Go and fire fireworks at historic buildings, you fucking lemons. Daniel's just bunged in a super chat and he says, hide in the first 90 minutes of a game. Norwich sat back and we were able to finally get past the low block, which we didn't have before. Add Sancho in the future centre mid and I feel positive. Don't get why our defenders go towards the ball instead of reading the game and being in the correct position, naive at times. Mulvaney says Phil Igalo needs to be in a 2, felt very static going forward. Again, it looked better when Marshall came on because he's obviously marked by half as many people and we also push forward so much. It's not necessarily just about does he always need to be in a 2. Today he needed to be in a 2 because Norwich absolutely collapsed in on themselves and we couldn't get anything towards them. We had 3 number 10s on the pitch at one point and no width and no runs. So, and Igalo's not going to be the one that's making those runs all the time. If anything, Igalo comes short rather than stretches. That's his game. How many signings do I think we're off from winning the title? It might be a couple. It might only be a couple. What happened to James? I don't actually know. Should we head over to the Patreon, Mathis, and see what everybody's saying for the review? Let's see what you guys are saying. On a scale from aggressive diarrhea to a clean one wipe, how shit is Shaw? It's a bit far, in it. It's not a clean one wipe, but it's not painting the ball. How shit were Jesse, Delo, and Fred? Again, yeah. Rashi not looking as fresh as usual. Think he just needs a goal. No, I think it's timing. He's never had a major injury like this before, and like I said, 6 months out. I would have played him through this because I think he can be played through this. But yeah, I would have played him because I thought today would have been a good opportunity to get him on and stretch the ball. I think Solskjaer got the selection wrong today. How much does high wages relate to amounts of game time given Shaw has started has been poor? I don't think the board ever says he has to play, mate. But I think you're aware of when someone's on an outrageous salary that they have to be in consideration to start. I don't think that's right, but I think that's what happens. Idge says it's obvious we need a new left back who can create. Who do I think would be good? My head's fried. I'll get back to you on that. Do I think Tony would thrive in a 2-man strike partnership? I like 2 striker partnerships. I think they're fucking great. How important is Igalo to our cup run this season? Or cup runs? The domestic one's going to be done and done, innit? Very, very quickly. It's going to be over rapid. Literally, we're in a semi-final, then there's a final. If we were still playing Europa at the same time, yeah, massive. I think you can just go your strongest 11 now every week. I don't think we should be rotating too heavily unless there's a fitness issue. How badly do I think the 120 minutes will affect us against Brighton? I think it might affect us. I don't know to what degree because I don't know what match sharpness everybody is or what he's going to play, but yeah, I think it might affect us. Brighton haven't played this weekend, have they? Do I see any reason not to cash in on the low, especially with the likes of Laird coming through? No. I would move him on. Did too much rotation affect our performance? I think so. And did it highlight some of the deadwood that needed clearing out? Yeah, I would agree on both of those. Do I think it's the last we've seen of Lingard? I think I said in the first half, and I on the watch along, if he's subbed early, especially if it was at half time, it came on the hour, didn't it? But I think if you said it came at half time, that might be the last we've seen of him. How worrying is our squad depth, considering we had to sub off 6 of the 8 rotated players because they were so poor? Tells you that we've got an 11, doesn't it? And beyond that, quite ordinary. If we're unable to get Grealish, should we look at Cantwell? I don't think he's good enough. I don't think he's Grealish levels, put it that way. Igalo, Rashford, Martial, Greenwood, Pogba and Fernandes were on the pitch and it was Captain Slabhead who put the ball in the back of the net. How mad's that? Well, they all count. I remember something similar happening when Jaap Stam scored. It was against Leicester in 99, I think. Was that inability to break Norwich down something to worry about in the future with teams setting up a low block against us? It's been the worry all season. Yes, it's still a worry, but I think there's not a lot of other ways teams are going to set up. Like, no one's come up with a super fandango way to deal with Manchester City. They just go into a low block and try and pick up runners. Gecko says, gonna drink vodka and Jaeger tonight. You are? Well, I'm not. We're not doing a rundown tonight. You might notice because it's already 9 o'clock. Thoughts on what we should do with Luke and the left-back situation? I think you're going to be stuck with him for a while because his wages are mad and he ain't worth them. Who's going to take us off them? Arsenal might, to be fair. Arsenal might. How scared was I of Krul and penalties? I don't think we'd have won penalties. How poor are we without Paul Pogba? I think we can get by, but we are certainly a lot better with him. Do I think Rashford is fully fit? I'm told he's fully fit. I'm told 100% fully fit. So that's why I can only assume it's sharpness. Does Joe scream like that at Old Trafford when we score, and how well does that go down? I've never sat near him at Old Trafford, but I imagine he probably does. Because he's fucking weird, isn't he? First time we've seen Romero in a while. I know it's only one game and a mistake, but this should change people's thoughts about dropping De Gea for Romero. I mean, it was in the side netting. It wasn't like it was right at him, was it? I think that's a bit of a giddy comment, actually. As much as we want to get rid of Shaw, who do you think would realistically take him? Someone's replied, KFC. You lot are fucking brutal. Like the video, slags. With Lingard's poor performance, what third world country do you think he'll be shipped off to? Again, United struggle getting rid of players because of the extortionate wages that they're on. If the talk of him is to go to Italy, I think he should go to Italy. Did this game highlight the need for another creative player instead of Lingard and Mata? Yeah, possibly maybe that's the reason he is looking at the likes of Grealish and stuff, because I do think you can get 25, 30 games out of one of those. Do I reckon Ollie can't wait to clear some of these players off the books? Same faces have been shocking all season. I'll be shocked to see some players start next season. The only reason that you won't is if we're just unable to get rid of them. And Solskjaer's never going to come out. People really get this twisted and be like, oh, he might have even defended one of them in the press conference tonight. The reason he's done that is he's protecting the value of that player, so when the club try and move him on, we don't get rinsed, and then we can spend that money on a better player because we've got more money to spend. It's politics. If he comes out and goes, wow, he stunk the place out, didn't he? And then you get someone ringing you up saying, I'll give you a fucking mint aero for him. Now, some of you might be like, all right, sound, yeah. but then moan that we don't sign someone for 70 million. You have to balance the books, or at least attempt to balance the fucking books, especially while we're still funding $1 billion worth of Glazer debt. So, yeah. How good is Mason looking? Good. And Brandon Williams, yep. Where he's led. Look at his Instagram. He's doing a fucking photo shoot today, so I'm not playing anywhere, I wouldn't have thought. But he ain't far off. He was the better of Williams and him coming through. Only saw bits of the game as I was working, but Shaw didn't look that bad. Was he really as poor as people are making out? No, because it's the internet and everyone takes up massive extremes. He wasn't the worst performance anyone's ever put on a football pitch, but there's issues with how he plays that you can definitely easily improve upon. How narrow is the field with both Mata and Lingard? Yeah. It didn't make a lot of sense from the off, did it? We should sell Shaw and replace him with an attacking left-back like Grimaldo. Again, it's easier, isn't it, to say it than to actually get it out there and do it. It's finding someone that's going to want to take him on, and you can't force him out either. That's the nightmare with it. How concerning is it when our backup struggled so much against the Championship team? They are a Championship team, aren't they? Or they soon will be. In all seriousness, do I think Bruno might need to sit the Brighton game out, run his bollocks off? I'll tell you what, Bruno did everything he could have done. He looked knackered, and he got to the stage where he was trying to score a fucking worldie, and that was all he was trying to do. And then 30 seconds later, you see him making a tackle on the goal line. Bruno's been almost flawless for United. I think he's been absolutely sensational. One of the best fucking impacts I've seen a signing make for us, and the way he's taken to this football club is admirable as fuck. I don't think he can sit the Brighton game out. The Brighton game is far too fucking vital for what we're trying to do as a football club for him to sit it out. And following that is Bournemouth. I'd say start him, and if you can, whip him off after an hour. Otherwise, you've just got to let him play. Just let him play. Give him days off in the week. He's not going to forget how to play football with an afternoon off. But United need to play our strongest team. If United play our strongest team against Brighton, Bournemouth, Aston Villa... Have I missed a game there? No. Southampton. Wait, do we play Southampton on a Monday and then Crystal Palace that Wednesday? That's fucking gross, isn't it? Monday 13th, Wednesday 15th. Saturday the 18th. Fuck all the way off. Right, you've just got to play your strongest team all the way through that. And at some point, some lads need to get some minutes under their belt as well, so they're sharper than that shit that came on today. Depressing, but ultimately, we're in the fucking hat for Wembley. And I like a Wembley trip, or I'm not getting one. I'm not getting two. That's a little bit depressing. But at least we are in the hat, and it's an FA Cup semi-final. And actually, I don't fear a single club left in this. Because if we draw a big team, we don't play like we just played. We go for big teams, because they go for us. And we're fucking good at that. There's no one United should fear. There's nobody United should fear. We can win this thing. Right, make sure you subscribe. Make sure to like the video. Make sure you've rung the bell and get notifications turned on. 5 Things We Learned will be out at what time, Cameroon? 10 in the fucking morning. See you then. Laters.